What's up, Steeler Nation? Here I am again back with another perspective as a fan, as an avid fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this offseason is really slow, but there have been some tidbits of information that I would just like to react to. Um, and in different scenarios that we've been hearing thus far since that horrific playoff loss that we had against the uh, Baltimore Ravens. One of the things that I wanted to touch base on is uh, the Aaron Rodgers and Trevor Lawrence rumors. And this whole QB thing, it's fascinating how, you know, the narrative has swung back and forth to the Steelers were focused on bringing either Russell or Justin Fields back. Then they're the favorite to land Kirk Cousins. Then they're the favorite to land Sam Darnold. Then they're the favorite to land Aaron Rodgers. And so we've heard numerous rumors of who would make the Steelers better. Some people believe that we can become legitimate Super Bowl contenders if we get consistent quarterback play. Others believe that we should tank and just go, 5-12 and get a top 5 pick in the draft and select who? Arch Manning, a couple of different QBs that are coming out next year. I'm not really familiar because I have only person that that I have heard consistently was Arch Manning, and there's no way we're gonna be that. First of all, the Steelers organization doesn't work like that. One thing that I have always been proud of as a Steelers fan is that, we don't look forward to losing seasons. We are always trying to retool. I don't know, how many of you are on Bleacher Report, and I'm upset with them because they updated the website and now I can't log in and look at things going on in the community. But the different narratives that have been proposed to us as far as who's going to be our next quarterback and whether or not we should look to free agency into the draft or whether or not we should tank 2025 and try to get a higher draft pick in 2026 draft. That's just not something this organization does and hasn't done for quite a long time. But the real rumor that's really bothering me that I do not want to see, I absolutely do not want Aaron Rodgers on this football team. I'm just not interested in him and his attitude and his diminished physical limitations. I'm leaning more towards Justin Fields each and every day because of not necessarily because of his upside, because I see Justin Fields as a bridge quarterback. I mean, he has all the potential, but for him to be a franchise quarterback, to be our franchise quarterback, this gentleman has to see the field better. He just has to see the field better. He has to learn how to read defenses better. He has to learn how to find the open man better. He needs to get rid of the ball quicker. He needs to make quicker decisions. He needs to know when is the right time to throw the ball up and give jump ball targets like Mike Williams and George Pickens the opportunity to go up and fight for the ball. And then another thing is we keep talking about these quarterbacks, the older quarterbacks, veteran quarterbacks, but quarterbacks that are towards the end of their career. And like, with what we saw with Russell Wilson, and then we'll see with Aaron Rodgers is if this offensive line is not top 15, there's no way, shape, or form that we can expect these old quarterbacks on 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41-year-old legs to run away from opposing defensive linemen and create plays. Because, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields were running for their life during the second half of the season. And even Justin Fields during the first half of the season, the Steelers' offensive line was mediocre at best. And towards the end of the year, they were atrocious. They were giving up so many quarterback pressures every time Russell Wilson dropped back to pass the ball. Almost every time. He was under pressure, under immense pressure, which led to some of the bad decisions that he made. Once again, I'm not fond of the route tree. I'm not fond of the route concepts. I see too many wide receivers running to the same area, expected to just run past their man. Plays look like they take too long to develop. And so, I would have been amazed if some team would have decided to take a chance on Arthur Smith and make him the coach and leader of their football team. Because, unless in Atlanta he was trying to coach the football team and call the plays, leave those duties to your coordinators. That's why they have those positions, so that you can focus on game management, player management, the ins and outs of how to orchestrate, conduct practices, and how to get your team prepared for game day. Those are the things that you should be worried about, not the play calling. That's too much responsibility. And there have been very few that have been successful doing both because of the immense responsibility of the head coaching role. Our offensive line has to improve greatly, but I can't imagine Aaron Rodgers back there running for his life again. Even towards the end of the year when he started to play well, because people have to remember with Aaron Rodgers is that Achilles injury is hard to come back from and play well within a year's period. And so he probably was just getting used to his body again, and he hadn't played football in a year. So, he was seeing the field differently. You just can't step out of that and come back to it so quickly and expect to pick up where you left off. I mean, we're talking about mind, muscle memory, and there's no simulation that can get you ready for live action. So it's not surprising that towards the end of the year that he started to play well. But keep in mind, next year he'll be 41 years old. Going into the season, during the season, he'll be 41 years old. And so his skills are going to diminish even more so. And putting him behind an offensive line like that, I understand that we want this offensive line to grow. We expect it to grow. We expect these first and second year, in some cases third and fourth year players, and the one veteran that we have, we expect them to get better. We expect them to improve. We expect them to have a tremendous offseason and come back stronger and come back wiser and come back in better shape and be better prepared for the rigorous nature of the game and the day in and day out preparation that it takes in order for you to be the best at what you do. I understand that all of that is necessary, and we expect all of this to happen, but it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen the way we want it to happen. And, there's going to be what's the word? There's just going to be some adversity, and Aaron Rodgers is going to get caught in the middle of that. So what it is it's delaying the development of a franchise quarterback. You know, my hope is that they bring Justin Fields back, that they draft Jason Dart or Will Howard in the third round, and they bring in another veteran quarterback, 1, 2, 3, where they're not depending on a third round quarterback to come in and start, where they're not depending on a third round quarterback to come in and lead them, but with somebody who has talent and has an upside to eventually either take over or be given a shot to take over. And if things don't work out between one of those three, then we'll put ourselves in a position next year to maybe move up in the draft and get a quarterback that is supposed to be in 2026. The quarterback draft class is supposed to be a lot better. This is a down year. This is one of those. It's not quite the year that Kenny Pickett came out when none of those quarterbacks succeeded, but it's supposed to be a lot better than last year's class or even this year's class. So we'll see how that comes to pass and how that plays out. As far as our wide receivers are concerned, I don't know how many of you all, and if you watch this video, please comment, but I am not personally a fan of Cooper Kupp. Not saying I'm not a fan of his game. I'm not a fan of him becoming a Pittsburgh Steeler, and I'll tell you why. I was watching on YouTube a debate, and I can't remember who exactly it was. I think it was Steelers Talk, and he was talking about that he was more in favor of the Steelers trading for Cooper Kupp and not trading for Deebo Samuel. And some of his reasons were that Deebo Samuel is old, he's injury prone, and he's slowing down. He's on the wrong side of 30, and even though his salary for current wide receiver, which is somewhere around $15 million, is a very good number for an average wide receiver in today's market, that because of those other factors, that the Steelers shouldn't take a chance on Deebo Samuel. And so I don't know if I'm really interested in Deebo Samuel. I want another game changer, young game changer. If we can't get T. Higgins, which I don't think that we'll get him because it sounds like the Bengals are going to franchise tag him. And I know the Steelers are not giving up 2 first-round draft picks for T. Higgins. That's not even the way that they do business. That doesn't fit what they have displayed as a realm of logic for the front office. However, when you talk about other receivers, I'm looking for more. If you're going to trade for somebody, let's go out and see if we can get Cortland Sutton again, or let's go out and see if we can sign Darius Slay. Another name that I think that we should consider signing would be more of if we're going to draft for a wide receiver high in the draft, first round, like a Emeka Egbuka, then maybe we can look at Chris Godwin, who's coming off an injury year, but he's not injury prone. He just had it. He got injured last year. I would even consider bringing Mike Williams back and utilizing him correctly, because I heard some rumors that he couldn't get the playbook down. So maybe another year in this system, he can flourish in the playbook, And he's coming off another a year in which he's returning from an ACL injury and a knee injury. And so maybe he'll be more improved. I mean, he's only like 30. It's obviously that he can still run. It's obviously he still is a good jump ball contested wide receiver. And this notion that that's all he can do, I'm not buying that, because that's not all who he was during his successful seasons with the Chargers. And so, it just to keep him boxed in like that, I'll hear a lot of the local beat writers and sports analysts and commentators and podcasters put Mike Williams in his box. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that let's see. I just would like to see if there's more meat on that bone. So those are some of the wide receivers I would be interested in. But my thing is that for you to compare Deebo Samuels and list all the cons about bringing him onto the team as injury prone, on the wrong side of 30, he's slowing down, his body is taking a lot of punishment, and then say that Cooper Kupp would be a good fit because he's been injured 3 of the last 4 seasons. He hasn't played a lot of games. He's always hurt. Always hurt. And so what makes you think that at age 31, 32 years old that Cooper Kupp is going to play, 15 games? You think he can make it through 15 games? That was my problem with T. Higgins. And T. Higgins is young and dynamic. But do you know that T. Higgins in his, 4 or 5 NFL seasons has never played more than 12 games in a season? So you're guaranteed that he's going to miss 5 games during every season for somebody that you're going to pay $32 million. His first 5 seasons in the league, he's missed at least 5 games every season. But you're willing to take the chance on him because he's big, tall, fast, and explosive with excellent hands, good route running. I'm not really familiar with his ability to run block, but if you're going to, if you go out, let's say you go out and get a Cooper Kupp. Let's say that the Steelers trade a 5th round pick for Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp and bring him to Pittsburgh. Then to me personally, you have to go out in the 1st round of the draft and draft a receiver. You have to. You have to. Because Cooper Kupp, first of all, is a slot receiver and a possession receiver. And can he beat you deep? Yes. But then where does Calvin Austin go? What happens to his development? Because he showed you glimpses as well, too. And he hasn't cost $20 million. And I know he's a diminutive wide receiver, but, he can get deep. Steelers had 3 wide receivers that could stretch the field. They never utilized them right. All this talk about we don't have weapons and we don't have a good personnel. I don't think that we used our personnel correctly, which includes Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. And, our wide receiving core wasn't the greatest, but isn't that the job of the offensive coordinator to scheme open wide receivers, which he did not? And then when wide receivers were open, the quarterback, whoever it was, Fields or Russell Williams, couldn't consistently get the ball to the open man, and the offensive line couldn't consistently block pretty much on consecutive plays so that, we could, move the ball down the field. And, one thing that I have noticed, and everyone has noticed that, is Arthur Smith's scripted beginning of the game plays is garbage. Garbage. Because it's not only that all season long, the Steelers didn't score a touchdown on the opening drive. Not only that, but most of their opening drive possessions were 3-and-out. The majority of them, I mean, I can count at least 6 or 7 games where their first 3 possessions, they went 3-and-out, 3 straight times, or 4 or 5 plays and kicked the ball. They didn't cross midfield plenty of times during their first 3 possessions of most games. That's ridiculous. That's literally ridiculous. I just don't really understand what we're doing. We have this head coach that feels like he can just run out and do whatever he wants to do to whoever he wants to do it to without making adjustments, without properly utilizing the personnel that he has. You know, you don't take square pegs and put them in the round holes. This guy tries to take square pegs and force them down in the round holes. Then he wants to stand and tell you in the post game conference that the standard is the standard, and you know, I don't have time to all these little cliches about, you know, he don't want to pick the low hanging fruit. Yeah, if you would pick more low hanging fruit, you wouldn't be so hungry. You wouldn't be so hungry all the time. So, hey, look, this is just my perspective on the Steelers, and you know, pretty soon I'll start doing all NFL teams, or you know, high button topics. I also have some inspirational videos. So if you want to be inspired, or a good scripture video to encourage you, just click the like and subscribe, or click on this video, and just receive inspiration. Otherwise, thanks you all for taking a listen and a look, and I'll see you.